Well, the time has finally come. Your votes have been tallied, and we have a winner for the first ever Armored Core 6 Community Emblem Creation Contest. And due to the amount of entries and votes I got, I'm going to do a top 3 because what a turnout it was. We had over 70 emblems submitted and over 200 people voted for their favorites. I also reached out to the winners individually to get their thoughts, and in a few cases, you'll get to see the process in action. But without further ado, we're going to announce the winners, starting with the comedic emblems. And coming in third is Scruffy. I reached out to Scruffy for their thoughts, and they didn't have many. They said they were just happy to participate, and that once they started, the emblem just kind of flowed. Well, I'm happy to have had you participate, Scruffy, and congratulations on number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have this submission from NYN. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. And honestly, knowing the internet, I'm surprised this didn't get number 1 just on principle. NYN said they created this emblem based on a request from somebody in the Armored Core Discord, and that they used a program called Window Top to overlay an opaque reference on top of the game to go by. I hadn't heard of that program before, but what a useful way to do it. Certainly beats staring at a reference pasted off to the side. Thanks for participating, NYN, and congratulations on number 2. And coming in at the number 1 spot in the comedic category is Death Diamond 15 and their Baby On Board emblem. They said that they were actually inspired by a video of one of their favorite content creators, the Russian Badger. Let's take a look.
I wish there was a Baby On Board sticker you can put on the back of it.
I would put a heat round right through that bitch if I ever saw one.
Well, I'm glad you were inspired because that is objectively hilarious. And if you see Death Diamond out in PvP, get out there and put a heat round through that bitch. Tell them I said congratulations on number 1. Moving on from there, we're going to get into the serious category. And coming in at number 3, we have The Raven Barcode by Noisy Wren. Wait just a minute, I know that guy. That's me! I was really back and forth on if I wanted to submit an entry for my own contest, but I also really wanted to be part of it. And at least to my knowledge, nobody else is running these right now. So I decided to go ahead and do it anyway. So thank you so much for throwing some votes my direction. My emblem was inspired by Banksy's barcode. I couldn't think of something that fit the setting of AC6 better. The independent raven breaking through the control of their masters. And the wording at the bottom is a throwback to a certain piece of the story trailer. And I'll say, it's the new masking layers in AC6 that really makes this one possible, at least with a transparent background and that kind of gradient fill. I really wanted to do something focusing in on the new tools of AC6's emblem creator. I'm actually going to be putting out a second video that will go through the process of making the emblem, so you can find that in the description below. And the PC share code for this emblem, along with the black and white variations, will be available in my Discord for members of the channel. Related to that, I've received quite a few questions on if I'm going to be posting the share codes for everybody's entries. And the answer is no, I'm not going to, but the individual creators can. Some of the entries are their personal emblems, and I really want to leave it up to the individual creator whether they want to share it or not. But I invite everybody who participated to drop their share code in the emblem channel in my Discord. So if you're interested in them, check that out. Maybe you'll find the one you want. Moving on from that, and coming in at number 2, we have Roviren's Frog. This was certainly a popular one, and I love how 3-dimensional it is. When I reached out to Roviren, they took me step by step through the process of how they made it. They started out with a few test images to see what the new emblem creator in AC6 could and couldn't do. From there, they decided on their final design from the early sketches, knowing that they liked the tongue spiral and the gridded background, an homage to the AC6 image grid, and also looks a lot like the training room. From there, they used white circles to find the physicality of the frog, and once they had the correct dimensions down, began to add shading to create depth. From there, it was time for detail work, so they focused in on the face to make sure the cheeks, mouth, and eyes would sell, then went more into outline and shading. They also made special note that the nose is actually a mask of the emblem found in preset 2, column 9, row 3. From there, next up was the fly. They had originally intended to do 3, but with the only 10 or so odd layers they had left, they decided on one big detailed one instead. It may seem like you have a lot of layers at first, but they go by real quick. You have to make them count. At this point, the design was more or less complete, but they wanted a little bit more detail, so they went back and found layers that were either covered up or not purposeful, deleted them, and used the remaining layers to add some backlighting and a frontal vignette. But how does this emblem look on an AC? Well, they're glad you asked, because Roviran has went all in on the theming of their AC. A speed bot that can take down the Chapter 1 boss in under a minute. Adorned with a matching froggy face and tongue on the core, lily pad pauldrons, and ombre light green shading, and then the emblem on the back for that perfect PvP view. And with that, we are going to hop on over to the number 1 spot of the serious emblems. And coming in at number 1, and by no means a surprise for anybody who knows them, is Bottle of Rumster, with their realistic red Zaku. Rumster is certainly well known in the community as one of the best emblem makers around, and I'm happy to announce they have a video of the entire process of making this number 1 emblem. The link to that video is also going to be in the description, so head over to their channel and show them some support. They've got a whole catalog of emblems just as amazing as this one, so if you want to pick up a thing or two about how to make awesome emblems, Bottle of Rumster's channel is the place to be. But with that, the first official community emblem competition has drawn to a close. If you somehow missed it, you can see all of the entries in the emblem voting showcase video on the channel. There were so many amazing entries and just so many talented people that took part in this competition, and once again, I want to thank you for being a part of it. I also want to thank everybody who went out there to vote and support their favorite artist. I've certainly learned a lot in this first competition, and picked up a lot of interesting techniques and ideas that I can't wait to try out in the Emblem Creator and Armored Core 6. It's definitely more robust than the 1 in 5 and Verdict Day, but there's a lot of similarities too. And of course, there's a few new challenging aspects of this one that we didn't have to deal with in Verdict Day as well. So there's lots to take in, lots to mull over, and with any luck I can get an emblem creation guide out sometime in the future. Don't have a timeline for you just yet though. And lastly, I want to hear from you, the viewers, with regards to the competition. Hop into the comments and let me know what you thought. The next time around, I'm considering just making it a single category, as we didn't get nearly as many comedic emblems as we did the serious ones. There's a few other changes I'm considering making too, so yeah, just let me know in the comments if you have any ideas or thoughts on the process. I'd love to hear from you. This competition is, after all, for the community. And if you don't have any thoughts to give, just hop down there and let me know what your favorite emblem was. And if you're curious, though it was incredibly hard to choose, my votes actually went to the 2 winners, Baby on Board and Red Zaku. So stay tuned for another emblem competition sometime in the future. Until then, I'll see you next time.